First fish from Domain Beville, 40 pound 10 ounce on the first night after a load of bream, but hopefully a few more of these to come. Morning. What a first night, absolutely fantastic. 40 pounder, and I've literally just had a 21 pounder as well. It's going well. Didn't start off so well, to be honest. It's probably first hour or two I was struggling keeping my lines in the water from getting bream bites. I must have had about 10 bream or something like that, but I'd soon change my approach. I've been glugging my baits basically with some bait soak, which obviously makes it more attractive for the carp, but anything that swims as well, really. So basically what I've done, I've stopped glugging it, I've stopped chopping my baits, and I'm basically just going to use whole boilies, just to not make it so easy for the bream to feed, to be honest. So it seems to be working, so I'm keeping my rods in the water a little bit longer. But something else I've had to do as well, which in a way the bream have helped me find it out from getting a few bites. On the back edge of the riverbed there's some like sharp shells and mussels and that type of thing, and every now and again I'll get a bream, and well, this was last night, get a bream and my lines, it's almost gone like wool, where it's sheared off down the line. But you know, with using fluorocarbon and it being so heavy, it's gone right down onto the bottom. And what I've done, I've basically changed my line, changed the spools. I've got a bit of GT80 on here, which sinks, but it doesn't sink like a fluorocarbon. So it's you know, hopefully that'll help me out and help just so my line doesn't sit that hard into the bottom and cause me any more problems. And to be honest, I had this on last night and got the fish out no problem at all. So hopefully that's going to work out for me. As you can see, the sun's coming out, it's warming up, the mist's gone. Basically how I started off the approach on here, I was doing chopped baits, quite a bit of crumb, all boilies, trigger, and fishing like a bright hook bait over the top. But what I found with that is basically making it a bit too easy for the bream, and with loads of bream down here, the bream are spawning. Usually the carp are spawn probably a couple of weeks after the bream, but with them spawning, you know, they'll come down to the area feeding on the spawn and whatnot. So you know, and what I've noticed so far as well, they seem to be coming down so far, but in the daytime, but they don't seem to come down into me swim like they are in a couple of pegs up the lake. But at night time they seem to come down, and basically just the other side of the old riverbed now, what runs through the lake. But basically what I've changed that to a dull one, just give it a little bit more time out in the water, and you know, hey presto, last night had me some carp bites. For my swim, it's looking like a nighttime swim, to be fair. But how I've set the rig up, little blow back rig, mugger hook, size 6. What a lot of people won't realise with the mugger hook is the flat forge from the curve round to the point, and the you know, for extra strength, slightly in-turned eye, which improves the hooking and hook holds, and generally on most curved shank hooks, you know, you might want to add a little bit of shrink tubing, but with these, with the in-turned eye, you don't even need that, so you can keep it you know, absolutely mega stealthy, very simple, and does just the job. I've got the £20 trickster hook length, just a supple braid it is, in the silk colour, and absolutely fantastic. Sinks, does everything what it says on the tin. Basically it's about 7 inches long, tiny little bit of putty halfway down, and generally how I set that up, like a lot of people will be worried about tangles with braids and that. I basically got a little 3-bait stringer in a triangle. One of the baits in there is either a cork ball or an old pop-up, and basically what that does, if I show you, just thread the needle through, so the needle straight through the middle. Thread it down onto the hook length, just over the putty, and then pull the hook point between 2 of the baits, and it sits like so. And what that does, when you cast that through in the air, it basically goes through it, and it catches the air like a parachute, and you don't get any spinning or anything. It actually catches it and it goes through the air really nice like that. And obviously as long as you drop it on a tight line as well, it does the same down through the water, keeping the hook, the main line away from the hook length, because if you just let it plough in, it's going to go in like that, and then that'll tangle around your main line. So basically that's one of the reasons why you always want to drop it down on a tight line, you know, as well as feeling it down. It helps to keep the hook bait away from your main line. But the trick is with either the pop-up or the cork ball, generally what will happen with that, it sits up off the bottom, these break up, then that little bit of putty there helps it to lie down, and I'll show you with the other rig actually. So basically what's happened there, my lead's gone down into the silt or the chod, that coils down like so, and then basically whichever direction a fish comes from, there's room on that for it to suck it into its mouth, and it tightens up on the suck basically, and hooks them every time. You know, it's been an absolutely foolproof rig. Well, it's got to be for me to use it, to be honest, but absolutely works a treat. Another thing with the hooking of it, always set it up so your bottom bait sits on the lake bed, so you're giving the hook, you know, all its weight to basically drag and hook the fish, and you always hook them in the bottom of the mouth. And another trick with this is, if you see the lumps on the back of my hand, so that's the inside of the fish's mouth. Every time, you know, hooks in, you know you've got it right if it's hooking in on that. But if it gets as far as the outside of the mouth, it still flips and turns and hooks it. So, you know, in theory you've got double the chance of hooking a fish on one take, if you like. So it's you basically a fish sucks it in, and because of the rope on it and because of the weight of it, falls to the bottom of the mouth. Fish moves slightly, it's either going to hook them on the pad about 1 inch back in the mouth, or it's going to catch them on the lip if it gets that far. But generally I hook them probably 1 inch back, just on that hard pad in the bottom of the mouth. And to be honest, I can't remember the last fish I lost, so you know, it's a real good hooker. So that's pretty much how I'm fishing. Talking about the lead going into the silt, you know, it's a bit like natural camouflage, I suppose. You know, a lot of people will wonder why they get a bite here and a bite there, but they won't get a bite there. I think a lot of it comes down to natural camouflage, where you've got you know, the edge of a clear spot, you've got shoddy bits of weed, and the edge of the weed bed if you're on a weedy lake, or fishing in the silt either side of a bar. It's basically helping to disguise your end tackle, and you know, if that falls down into a silt bed, the side of a gravel bar, your lead's gone in the silt. So your lead's out of the equation to start off with. You know, everything blends in quite nicely. The silt kicks up, sediment falls onto the rest of your end tackle, hides it. You know, it's the same as you've got a real hard, clear patch, gravelly patch if you like, sat in the middle of some weed. Generally 99% of the bites have probably come from the edge of the weed, and I think it actually helps to disguise your end tackle, and you know, improves your how many bites you get as well. So you know, that's something I take on board every time I'm finding spots on that. If I've cast out and I found a nice big clear area, I usually try and find the edge of it, either near, far side, or left or right. Try and find the edge of it. Generally, if I'm putting a lot of bait out, you know, because obviously you're using the bait as part of the camouflage. Sometimes if you're going down that route, but you know, you don't need tons of bait all the time, and majority of my fish come off quite small traps, to be fair. There you go, 32 pound.
Lovely.
Fish are drifting back down towards me. They seem to have done that every night so far, so might even get another one because it's still early yet. So absolutely cracking. Morning. Had a busy night last night, no sleep at all. Had 7 fish out, and I've got 3 of the bigger ones to show you. This one's 38 pound 5 ounce. Absolutely stunning. Oh. I'll nip her back and get the rest to show you. Right, here's the next one. Absolutely stunning coming. Beat me up on the mat as well as in the water. Say what, you go anywhere in the world, you won't find much better than that. A right lean, mean fight machine. Come on, darling. 4 seconds. How's that? Oh, they're coming down into my swim. On the trigger. Absolutely stunning. Right, I've got one more to show you. Then I can have a coffee. Right then, getting a bit tired now. 33 pound mirror, just after 36 common, but absolutely fantastic night. I think I need some sleep, but I'll show you this one. I get her back. How's that? Absolutely beautiful. Look at the colours. I think this one's going to turn into a big one. Definitely likes its food. Right then, let's get her back.
It was heavy.
Yeah. Well done, mate. Absolutely stunner.
Right, I'll turn it round, shall I?
Well done, Gray.
Right. Sorry. Yep.
Same spot again, mate?
Yeah, same spot again.
Right then, next up, point doctors. Right, everybody talks about sharpening hooks at the moment. There's several different ways of sharpening hooks. The biggest problem you get with when you do sharpen a hook, especially if you're using a file and you're taking it right down, is if you if the water or the acidic level in the water's quite high, it'll start eating away at your point, and quite often you're bringing a hook that's been sharpened and the end's gone black. It's basically getting contaminated by the what's in the water, and basically it's blunting your hook. So if I'm leaving a rig out for a long time, 30 hours, a couple of days, say for instance, if I'm you know, waiting for a big one, I prefer a hook out the packet with the coating still on, to be honest, because you'll find it'll be sharper than a sharpened hook after that period of time. But you know, if I'm actually getting regular bites, say every 6 to 12 hours sort of thing, you know, I'm quite happy to sharpen hooks. Or if I've used a rig and I want to just freshen the point up, you know, the point doctors are absolutely fantastic. They're very foolproof, to be honest. They don't take anything to use. Basically what you want to do is get your hook starting away from the point, so you go in pushing down towards the point and you're almost just wiping it. 4 or 5 times on one side, same on the other, same on the other, and you can see you've just took the coating off, and it's absolutely, it does ever so good job of just putting the point back on the hook, and it actually make it sticky sharp again, as I'll show you with this one. You know, straight away. You know, and to be honest, it's quite funny actually when people test their hook points. They're always forever sticking it in their nails and whatnot to see if it's super sharp. If you've got a real nice sharp fine point on it, all you're going to be doing if you stick it in your nails is blunting your hook. So I was basically use the skin just on the back of my knuckles, and if it goes in with no pressure at all, it's mega sharp. Another first light stunner, £35, 8 ounce. Oh, absolutely shattered I am. That's a big long thing, all taken on the trigger. Absolutely fantastic. Bit of a misty morning this morning, but I don't mind that at all. I'd rather have that and catch fish than the sun out, to be fair. Right, let's get her back here. just had this 25, well 25 and a quarter. Still after a real big one, but that's fishing in it, so we'll keep battling on and see if we can get some bigger ones. But is this 25 to show you? Bit of a frost last night, so you can see mist on the water, but definitely worth getting out of bed for. Absolutely stunning. Right, slipping back.